Everything about this has stirred up so many emotions in me. I am not excited that Keith David is coming to Destiny.
Unexpected allies. Unexpected enemies.
Lance Reddick died this past March, and Destiny players have enjoyed his performance as our space dad for almost a decade. This has hit me harder than I thought it would, and the loss of Lance has wrapped itself up into other losses. In 2021, I lost a family member, and death has impacted me more than I ever thought. Kevin Conroy passed away in November of 2022, and Jason David Frank died less than 2 weeks later. Both stars being part of my childhood with their performances, and both passings bringing up the grieving process that still affects me. Grieving for Lance has resurfaced for myself because he's now being replaced with Zavala. Kevin Conroy, in many ways, is the quintessential Batman, but Kevin, he's not the only Batman. There have been many different interpretations of Batman since before and after Kevin took to the cowl. So I'm not wholly reminded of his death every time I see someone do Batman. Jason David Frank is the only Tommy Oliver, but he's not the only Green Ranger. And there's so many different Power Rangers that when I look at another Power Ranger, I don't think of Tommy Oliver and that he's dead now every time I look at a Power Ranger. Lance, however, he's the only Zavala we've had since 2014. Destiny has changed voice actors before, either because the critics were stupid or because an actor had other obligations, but we've never had an actor change for Destiny due to a death before, or at least not that I'm aware of. This makes changing Zavala even more strange for me, knowing that there's a much more permanent reason behind his voice change. Another thing that keeps bothering me on the whole for myself is that when I was grieving for Kevin and Jason, I did art. I did a Batman art, I did a Power Ranger art. I've been struggling to motivate myself to do a piece on Lance. I don't feel like I've done this correctly. Now, I've also grown up with Keith David's performances. Some of Keith's work I've enjoyed as a child.
I've been denied everything, even my revenge!
A teenager.
Demon, kill me or release me, parasite. But do not waste my time with talk.
And others I can appreciate now as an adult.
Is it to Frank or the Beans? The fate of the planet is in the hands of a bunch of retards I wouldn't trust with a potato gun.
So here's how it goes. As of now, you work for me, and your job is very simple. Give me my space.
Keith is a fantastic voice actor and actor. My wife made me watch Community while we were dating, and the most exciting part for me was when we reached Keith David's episodes and when I found out that he was going to be staying with the series. And I got really excited explaining to Nicole why I know of him.
My name is Elroy Potashnik, and from 2006 to 2009, I was addicted to encouraging white people.
Keith has a very strong voice, and I usually recognize it real quick during any of his performances. Keith already came out and gave a wonderful message to the Destiny community about his taking over the reign as Zavala.
Hi, I'm Keith David, and I am honored to continue the great work of Lance Reddick as Zavala. One of the great qualities of Zavala that really attracts me is his integrity and his sense of family. And I thought that Lance captured that wonderfully. And it is my intention to continue that work and to continue to bring that kind of integrity to the role. To all the fans, thank you for your support. Thank you for welcoming me into this family. Let's just continue to make this a great experience. Thank you.
Now, with that being said, I feel that Keith's voice is too strong. When we're moving to stuff that Lance hasn't voiced, I'm not going to hear Zavala. I'm only going to hear Keith David. It's noticeable enough for the ghost change, and it's hard to pick up for when they changed Cade. But I'm sure it's going to be very noticeable for Zavala. I don't think Keith is going to try to mimic Lance. I think he's going to do his version of the Zavala character, and it's going to be, for me at least, a constant reminder that we've lost Lance. I keep seeing fans praise Bungie for this choice, and I just can't get on the bandwagon. I love Keith David. I love his voice acting, and if you told me he was doing a character for Destiny, I'd be the first one to be hyped for it. I just can't look at a replacement for Zavala, knowing that it's due to Lance Reddick's passing, and just be okay with it. I know there's not much that Bungie can do with Zavala given this choice that they have. I mean, they're stuck in a situation. It's either recast or kill off Zavala. Destiny's loosely played with the alternative realities a lot with the Exo Stranger stories. They could always have Keith come in as Zavala from another reality, and then the voice change, it would make sense. For the past year, Destiny keeps hinting in a change in Zavala's role. Maybe Lance informed the heads at Bungie about his health condition, because Zavala has constantly, at least for the last year, said how he's not happy being commander of the Vanguard. He's had many doubts, and he asked advice from characters like Saint 14, Lord Saladin, and now Sloane, now that she's back with the Season of the Deep story. Every conversation Bungie's written between Zavala and these characters, there's a hint or that Zavala may leave. He might not be our commander anymore. And for me, that's always are they going to kill him off and replace him with one of these other three characters? And especially with these last conversations in the Season of the Deep.
There's only so much I can do behind a desk, weighing costs and outcomes. Sending someone else never sits right with me. I'd rather the clarity of the battlefield beside the two of you.
The burden of good leaders, to never feel we have done enough. But trusting those we send is what makes us strong.
You were Vanguard commander once. What made you step down?
Because I am not as strong as you. You carry the command for the same reason the Guardian and I stand in the trenches, to set the example, to be the hope. When the time comes, you will see it too, huh? I know you will.
Into the trenches then, Guardian. Yours on Titan, and mine in the tower. I look forward to your report.
I swear, I've heard this dialogue already. I mean, I don't like that dialogue, because that's just leading us to get Zavala out in the battlefield one more time and then kill him off because Lance Reddick died. There's always a chance that Bungie can hire someone that can mimic Lance, either through a true voice actor or an AI voice acting. I think that at least getting someone to mimic him, that would work if they were going to push Zavala off the side or change his role, make him not such a forefront. An AI thing would have probably been a real sticky thing, especially that Zavala's human or humanish, and you need his perfect inflections for his voice to sound genuine and not robotic. And Lance, his inflections and dictation, that's what makes mimicking him so hard. And that's why I think Keith David's not going to mimic him at all. It's just his iterations of his words. It's very much something just for Lance Reddick, and Keith David has his own way of speaking, just verbalizing things. I just think we're going to get a Keith David performance and not a Zavala performance. With all that being said, I'm a bigger fan of Keith David than I am a Lance Reddick fan. It's really ironic in that, because before I played Destiny, I didn't know who Lance was. I knew who Keith David was.
And Clark was human, huh? Which makes you a murderer, don't it?
Get me out of here! Cut me loose! Cut me the hell! Come on, get me out of here! Come on, get me out of here! Cut me loose, damn it!
But, after spending 10 years with Lance, and Lance being the only Zavala we've had, and now that he's passed, they're going to change him. It feels weird for me. I feel like I'm just going to constantly be reminded that he's died. And that's it. Is there a point to this video? No, this is for me to grieve. So and figure my stuff out. Maybe I'll motivate myself to do my art piece. I just know that for sure there's only one person that could say this word for me.
Guardian, 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 guardian.